goes into the sexual organs, and he's describing what Jack the Ripper did to Mary Kelly from the point of view of somebody who's there in the room that night. Alan giving it all he's got, and believe me, that man has descriptive ability beyond most people. And he gets up to the point of saying, and then he pulls out her lungs, and he holds them up, and he's dangling her lungs in front of Netley, and he says, "Look, Netley, lights." And we're about 15 minutes into the removal of bits from Grace Kelly, and from Grace Kelly, from Mary Kelly. Grace Kelly is you know, the ovaries are removed, the kidneys are over here, the liver, and somehow the lungs just tip me over the edge. And I said, "Alan, I'm going to go and sit outside on the pavement." And I got up, and the world was swaying very gently, and I headed out to the pavement, and as I walked through the restaurant, I heard from behind me a voice saying, "Well, well, well, there goes Neil, scary trousers go." The name is the story. Yeah.
Okay. I know you sprinkle some Miyazaki references in some of your literature. Was that your doing, or was that the artist, or was it a combination?
I think the Totoros that have crept into my literature in comics, there are several Totoros that you can find were all put in by the respective artists, by Charles Bess, by Jill Thompson. Which is not to say that I wouldn't have done it if I'd thought of it. Because I had the honour to work with Mr. Miyazaki on the English translation of Princess Mononoke. And about 18 months ago, I had one of you know that way you have, every now and then you look back and you think, that was one of the best days of my life. But you only realise it looking back. Going through, you're going, I'm having an amazing day, and then you look back and go, that was one of the days. And about, actually a year ago, I would have gone through, 2 years, 18 months ago, when Beowulf was going to be released in Japan, they flew me in. Stardust was going to be released in Japan. They flew me in, and I had a day off, one day off in my time there. And I contacted the guys, Steve Alpert from Studio Ghibli, who I met and worked with a lot on Mononoke, and I said, "Is there any chance that I could just come out and say hello, come out to the Studio Ghibli studios?" And he said, "Of course, come on out." So I went out to Studio Ghibli, I was welcomed in, and I figured that somewhere in there I would probably get to say hello to Mr. Miyazaki if I was lucky and he was in. What I did not expect to happen was that Miyazaki was like the third person I met there, and just decided that really he should show me round, and then he should show me round the town, and show me the children's centre that he's building, more or less by hand, and then take me to the little Studio Ghibli retreat, and we'd sit and talk about children's fiction and Diana Wynne Jones and things like that through an interpreter, which is what happened. So I got to spend an entire day with Mr. Miyazaki, and he showed me everything he was working on Ponyo, and explaining the whole thing to me, and all of his watercolor paintings, and it was just. And what made it an amazingly wonderful day was, as far as he is concerned, I don't think Mr. Miyazaki knows that I am anything other than the nice guy who translated Princess Mononoke for Americans, and that he didn't get anybody ever coming up to him and saying, that was a bad translation. you know, it wasn't like he was doing this for a visiting celebrity, and he doesn't care about celebrity completely. He was doing it because we met and liked each other at the Lincoln Center, and he wanted to be a gracious host, and I had one of the most fantastic days of my life just with him. So, there you go. So I absolutely would have put in those touch rows, but I didn't. It was the artist.